Hey guys, welcome back to our Bokeh map series, and in this video I'll be using the GMap tutorial, or rather the example on Bokeh's website, to walk us through this, as well as color palettes. And they come in a variety of different types, but all you need to import is the name of them and we can work with that. So let's go ahead and start importing our functions. So there's a few different types of outputs we can do. So from bokeh.io input output, we can import the output file option, and we'll look at the output notebook and we can see each result. And we'll do the show function so that we can view them in our notebook. And from models, we'll import everything else. And we'll add our map options. And this right off the bat asks for the center of your plot, and we'll be doing the center of Austin, which is 29.93, and the longitude equals 90 minus 98.208, and we want a road map type. A few other options are terrain, hybrid, I believe, a few others. And we'll add a zoom to that. So the smaller the number, the wider out it is, the bigger the number. So the more zoomed in it is. So I think a zoom of 0 or 1 is like the entire globe. All right, and we'll build our plot. And it asks for an X range, and we'll be using that data range 1D, which is just a standard scalar range that pulls in the max and min of your data. You can cap it if you want to, but we're just going to be using the standard option, and we'll do and we'll import our map options that we just created. And we'll need our API key. So I've been doing this a few times before and it's usually worked, but hopefully it continues working, because the last time I tried it, it did not, but we'll test it and find out. And then we can add a title to this. All right. Alright, so actually no, what we're going to do we're going to work with those that color bar, and so we're going to import that. So from and we'll import one of those pallets. So color bar takes in a mapper function, which we'll define in a second. And we'll call that mapper and a basic location on the plot. So this will be like a gradient of colors that will display next to the map, and that needs a location and it needs a mapper function. So we'll create that now. And that takes in that palette. And the low will equal, so this is going to be based off of our elevations, and if we don't want to manually type this in, we can just create something for it. So we can do low equals math, or I gotta import that. And we need the floor of the minimum elevation. And then for the high, we'll do math.ceiling max for the elevations. And the reason I'm using these two functions, floor and ceiling, is because these elevations are floats and we need whole numbers for the color bar, and floor and ceiling automatically do that for us. So that's why we have that. And we'll add this into here, equals low, high equals high. And let's see, that should be good. And now we can add that to our plot. Whoa. And we'll put that on the right of the plot, the right side of the plot. All right, so now we can start adding in our MultiLine, and that takes in a series of paired latitudes and paired longitudes. So we can, first we'll start building it, and then we'll go back and build those X's and Y's. So from bokeh.models.glyphs, and glyphs just refers to any shape. We're going to be using MultiLine and creating the shape of that as we go. So source equals, so this is a column data source. So our data is going to be in the form of a dictionary, and it's not automatically spacing that. Our X, we haven't created that yet. Our Y, and our elevations. guess we can go, let's just go ahead and add those x's and y's now. So we'll create a function for that. So x will equal, so this is going to be a list comprehension. So for I row in the data frame, we are going to want to build a list of these paired coordinates. So here's our data frame. We want to build this and this together, and then for our x, and then for our y, this and this together. And that, in the shape we're creating, will create our multi-line. So this will be so many brackets. All right, does that make sense? For I, it looks like it. Yep. Okay, so now we can add x, y, and and we'll create our line. And this is just the convention is XS. In older Bokeh versions, it was something different. And we'll add a line color to that. And by doing that, to do that line color, we'll be taking in, how do I explain this? We'll be mapping that mapper to this line based on this elevation. So the field that we wanted to map to will be the elevation. So this refers to this, and if you wanted it to be based off of X for some reason, and there's many reasons you could do that in other circumstances, but we will transform this, we will transform this based on that mapper. And we'll add a line width to it. Should be all right. Okay. Multi-line. Okay. And we'll add this glyph to our plot. And it needs to take in the source, which is the data, this column data source. It would be convenient to use a pandas data frame, but in many cases Bokeh prefers this column data source. So we'll take in the source and the line. And that just identifies that it's been rendered. And we will try to output this. So this is just saying this is what we want our output to look like in the file or in the notebook, and that just indicates that it's worked, or that it's able to work, I guess. And we'll put another option to output as a file, and we'll just call this test.html. And I think it wants some parentheses. Okay, and finally we'll show our plot. And hopefully it works. Holy cow. Nope. See, for a second it did show there, but for some reason I've been getting this weird error. And it looks like it's trying to load that notebook, or rather that output file. I'm surprised it's not going quicker. But yeah, I'm not sure why we're getting an error here. Originally I thought it might be because of the API key, but it seems just to be a bug in the system for right now. And hopefully if you try it, it'll work. But let's try to do this without the GMap plot. So below this, let's try to, not above, below, let's create just a plain figure. And I think I need to import that too. Oh, it's still running that old one. All right, let's try this again. Is it capital? Oh, it's from we'll just put a generic title in there. Okay, so now now that we've redefined plot, we need to re-add in our color bar. Not like that. Okay, and we'll do this again, and we need to add that glyph again, and I don't want to output to a notebook. I'll output test and show. Okay, wow, there it goes. So you can see it automatically took in the lowest elevation and the highest elevation, and blue in this case indicates lower elevation all the way up to yellow. And I don't know if you can see that, but these lines, each line segment that we defined with those coordinates changes color as the elevation changes. So this just gives us a map of, I'm not sure where in the city this is, but it's based on where those coordinates are. And we can move this to the side, or we can move this toolbar up if we need to. And it shows you the coordinates, and yeah, it's pretty cool. Okay, so I think this is good enough for this video, and in the next video we'll try to clean it up and go from there. Yeah, thanks. I'll talk to you guys in the next video.